Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to provide you with a brief channel update on what I've been working on over the last couple of months. So if you've kind of missed the post over in the community section, you may be a bit in the dark, but we've been filing several Freedom of Information Act requests, kind of trying to figure out the Korean War as well as Afghanistan or the Afghanistan withdrawal. Unfortunately, the Afghanistan withdrawal Freedom of Information Act request is delayed until at least August 10th. It sounds like they have the information we requested, but they send it off to big Air Force to get reviewed to see if they can even release it. So August 10th is our next date on that. So hopefully we get something from them soon. Again, that email is always encrypted. Like the dude needs to encrypt the email to tell me about it. Like, hey, it's getting reviewed. Give it a few weeks. But that's pretty cool. Hopefully we get something. Anyway, I want to show you this. I'm probably being a little overly professional for this, but this is actually an FOIA. I don't think this was an FOIA. It might have been, but it's from the Air Force Archive. And this is kind of general Wayland's thing. We're going to dive into Korea a bit later where we talk about, there's actually a bunch of drama with the Silver Star that I don't know if people know about that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But anyway, let's dive into this. So this is actually an address to the 3rd Army Retreat Ceremony, August 1st, 1949, Major General O.P. Wayland. So if you can pause this or whatever and read it. I mean, there's some pretty cool things. I found that 5 years ago today, the United States released a new secret weapon against the Germans. So this is all primarily air power stuff. That secret weapon was a new air-to-ground team which combined the speed, range, and slashing flexibility of a tactical aviation with the power, the drive, and the stamina of the finest army ever to take the field. So I'm not going to read the entire thing because there's a whole bunch of other stuff we're going to get to, and I want to show you guys the maps because I know people love maps, love looking at maps and being maps and just like smelling maps. But there's a lot of information. I'm going to scroll through slowly. This is all going to be on the Patreon and the Substack. Like, it'll be uploaded to the internet. YouTube isn't the best repository, and I don't think you want me to put some relaxing music in the background. But I'm just primarily looking to get to the maps. But I want to scroll through this because I want you guys to be able to pause and to read it on your own time, especially if you aren't subscribed to the Substack or anything like that. So we're going to scroll for probably until 67, and then we're going to jump through a few pages where we have a lot more things to talk about. But I feel like people really want to know this information. This is like the history of the 3rd Army, things like that. And I'm trying not to scroll super fast, but you guys are going to have to pause it. I really want to get to the maps, which is on page 67. And then all of this is just like the chronological order record of events. So I'm gonna scroll this. I was gonna skip right here, but I'm gonna scroll this because I feel like people want to know the chronological events as I go way too fast. But it's pretty cool. I mean, this is like 1,000 pages. A lot of this we're not going to talk about. We're not going through all 1,000 pages. Ooh, look at that. Wittenberg taken, Trier taken, Rhine River Reach on March 9th, 1945. And then an announcement of the surrender of all German air, sea, land forces effective at 9 May 1945, 7 May 1945. All right, now we're going to skip. This is I feel like anyone who watches this, anyone who designs video games might want to know this information. So I'm just going to pause. I do want to go through it for them. All right, here we go. The maps, baby. Let's take a look at the maps. These are obviously scanned really, really poorly, but there's still maps, and at least we get to see them. So this is kind of just provides you with a bit of detail. I will upload this to the Substack on the Patreon, so you can download it and enhance it all you want. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. Leave a comment if I don't with something I didn't do, and I will get it to the Patreon if you want to see it and the Substack. And you can download it and enhance it all on your own. But all of this is obviously really hard to see. And I find myself trying to zoom in and enhance and look bigger. But look, here's all these maps. These are really cool. It's also third U.S. Army campaigns declassified. I love it. So someone really needs to lean in and kind of figure all that out. It's something. And then now they're going to talk a lot about promotion. So we're going to skip to the next thing, which I believe I found this interesting. 374. So this is just so these congratulation letters they're really important because there's tidbits of information on them. There's talk about how the war failed, not how the war failed, but how operations failed or how certain people are struggling. So there's like little bits of information in these congratulatory letters, like when he makes rank, and I'll highlight those later. They might not be in this video. But like right in this one, as you know, we have had an atomic explosion in the Washington atomic, the radiological effects of which are not likely to be diffused for some time. I wanted to look up what that atomic explosion in the Washington area was. That was August 24, 1951. It is really tragic that an officer of the armed forces should be conducting a running... Yeah, this is it right here. It's one of them. It's really tragic that an officer of the armed forces should be conducting a run-and-gun battle with the president and in process creating confusion and bitterness at home and a certain amount of consternation abroad. However, I suppose this thing will all work out satisfactorily in the long run, although one cannot be too sure. So this is actually like him, I believe, talks about 1,000 thanks and for the interesting comments regarding the Korean situation. I need to find this letter on April 6th because I don't have it. So there's some comments, some interesting things about the Korean things. But there's other things in here where they talk about strategic bridge bombing and things like that, where that'll be on the Patreon and Substack, guys. I'm sorry, man. Oh, it'd be so much YouTube stuff. And let's skip to the next thing that was the nuclear comment. So let's get to the Silver Star stuff. So this is 398. I don't think I'll upload this entire document, but I know I'll highlight the important things for you guys that I find interesting. So this is to General Rayland. Reference my award to you of the Silver Star for your information to see the attached above two signals. So General Wayland, so while we dive into this, so this is something I read before I started doing the video a lot, is he was awarded the Silver Star and the Distinguished Flying Cross, I believe 2 oak leaf clusters, and there's actually a lot of drama about it. So if you come down here, this is the letter, so we're going to skip this, we're going to come back to this, we're going to skip this, we're going to come back. So down here, so this is from Vandenberg to Stratemeyer, so they're awarding him the Silver Star, or talking about it. As you've probably learned by now, the award of the Silver Star to certain members of your immediate staff has caused a great deal of adverse comment back here. In addition, I have been asked for a full explanation of the circumstances surrounding these awards by the chairman, Vincent, the House Armed Services Committee. I'm sure you recognize from previous correspondence my attitude on the award of combat decorations to staff officers not involved in day-to-day contact with the enemy. My first inclination on learning of these awards was to cancel them. The more I think of it, the more I think that is still a sound thing to do. Before doing it, however, I would like to know how embarrassing such action on my part would be to you. If you feel strongly that these awards should be canceled, in light of the above, I need by cable your full justification for making these particular awards. So I mess this up every time, but this is from Vandenberg to Stratemeyer. So it sounds like Vandenberg is telling Stratemeyer to provide cause for the awards or to cancel them. And then this message, we're scrolling fast. Be patient. We're scrolling fast. This is Redline Vandenberg from Stratemeyer. So this is from Stratemeyer. I'm going to scroll slowly now. So this is basically, I think, his justification, Redline Confidential from Far East Air Force. And I want to talk about this particular paragraph right here. And you can read this on your own. I'll stop so you see the entire thing. In the early days in Korea, both Craig and Wayland felt that they had to know themselves just what if any developments or changes could or should be made in our detailed combat operations. So if you're unfamiliar with these awards like I was, apparently they flew unescorted missions in the weather to do unescorted things, to see what it sounds, to like view things. So they had no fighter cover. They found out the hard way by flying unescorted B-29 missions, they say it twice, missions, B-26 strafing missions, and tactical control missions, and unarmed T-6 aircraft. So I believe B-29, so they flew B-29 missions, RB-29 missions, B-26 strafing missions, and tactical control missions, and unarmed T-6 aircraft. You know, if I was a good YouTuber, I'd edit pictures and all that. It should be noted that Pitcher was not serving as Inspector General. at the time of the act, but instead was one of 2 deputies for operations, alternating 12-hour shifts with Crabb. Here's another page. Our intelligence resulting from the long-range reconnaissance left much to be desired, and once again, Staff Officer Bunfield and the Deputy of Intelligence flew on missions himself to find out at first-hand reasons why. So they're trying to figure out why our intelligence is like lackluster. And then it goes on. And the last thing I want you to do is reflect any disparaging way on the value of the Silver Star as an award to be highly prized. I'm not going to read that entire thing to you guys. And then right here, they talk about World War II because these wars were pretty close together. And we scroll down, and then I have asked General MacArthur a personal favor to me. So scrolling down some more, nice and slow. Like I said, guys, all on the these will be on the Patreon and Substack. These will slowly make their way there, but they will be there. And it's free. I'm not charging for these things at this particular moment. I don't think I charge for anything over there. So let's give you guys something a little bit juicy since we're getting towards the end of the video. What if we take a look at a poem? I'm joking. Let's go to, you guys want to see some Korean maps, or you want to see a strafing guideline? Oh, no, let's do this. No, I think everyone knows that. We'll do 2 things. 920 will be really quick. This, oh, look at that. This talks about, why did I go to this page? This is not the page I want to be on. Let me find that. 819 is the page we want. 819. This is back in World War II, where they talk briefly about tactical air power and tactical air command. General Elster is seeking negotiations, stated that he is willing to surrender if the Americans would cease their air attacks on his forces. And so this is actually a memorandum to Colonel Burton, H from the 303rd Fighter Wing APO Army. At the formal surrender of 20,000 troops south of the Lorry, which took place at the Biguan, I can't read that, on 16 September 1944, the German general commanding turned over his pistol in a token of surrender. Pretty cool. I hope you guys like that. That'll be on the Patreon. And then let's take a look at 693. I think this will be the last thing we look at, because then I have like 50 things and I'll just keep going. So this might be interesting. The air campaign. Let's pause. Conclusion. Nope, that's not it. Let's give you one more map. 993. I'm so unprepared to go beyond like those. Oh no, this is actually better. This is actually better. 716. Oh my God, of course not. 716. So I'm going to scroll slowly through this. You're going to need to read it yourselves, but they talk about, this is actually a letter from someone to someone else, but it's kind of to OP Wayland. They talk about strategic bombing and how it was different during World War II and how lessons were forgotten and how they were doing these massive bomb drops, but they're flying at like however high bombers fly. And then he talks about, I believe, F-80 right here, F-82s or B-26s carrying 2,000-pound bombs would 2,000-pound bomb at a low level would have a lot more impact than flying these massive bomber formations like they were in World War II. So pause this right here if you really want to read this. I will get this to the Patreon and Substack. Obviously, if you're not on the Patreon and Substack, you're going to miss out on a lot of information. I'm just going to say it over and over and over again because it's promoting like writing and what I'm working on right now. Hope if you want to see better edited videos, you can join the channel. But yeah, man, hopefully you guys like, if you like this stuff, leave a comment. If you don't leave a comment, like the video, engage. We'll return to other things later. I mean, obviously we still have videos to upload. All right, catch y'all later. Subscribe. Peace.